Hello, my name is Alexey Presnov, and today we are back on our YouTube channel. This is Analytic Energy Agency, and this is our last broadcast in English this year. And today is December 22nd, and in Russia it's a holiday. It's kind of a celebration of the so-called Day of Energy Workers or Power Electricity Workers. This is this tradition which goes back to a century ago when in 1920 the Bolshevik government led by Lenin, they have introduced a special commission on Russia electrification. It was called in Russian Goel-Ro plan, so-called, to electrify all Russia, to build power stations, to build power lines, and to make this Russia electrified. And at that time, it was, kind of advanced development of the country. It symbolized the success of the socialist society and so on. No, of course, if you just look at that a little bit deeper, to delve into the details, you'll see that basically all this plan was prepared prior to Bolsheviks came to power. It was done by the government of the Russian Empire, and Prime Minister Witte. He was, this kind of initiator of that, and they have prepared a plan how to make, Russia electrified. But then, as you know, it was World War One, waged up, and after that it was revolution, and then they had returned back to this idea in 1920, and they have created this commission, which I mentioned, and that is also the shortest day in the year. That's 22nd of December. Therefore, it traditionally is being celebrated by all those who are more or less have something to do with electricity and power sector and energy and so on. Okay, so we just briefly summarized what was happening in this year. So you know that we do that in English on every 10 days or 2 weeks, because normally our channel is in Russian. And as I said before, if we talk about Russia, it's nothing much is happening so far. But if you look at the situation just, this continuously, but if you just look in perspective, so you will see that Russia actually stands at the crossroad, at the, kind of fork, what to do next with their electricity sector, because as Kazakhstan and Russia, we mentioned that before, they face a tremendous task to renovate their power sector, because this previous investment cycle was major investments were made back in the Soviet times, and in Russia also in 2000 and 2010s it was some construction, also some investment cycle. It's about 30 gigawatts of capacity were built. Also this this bulk power lines grid was renovated. But if you generally look at the situation in the industry, of course, all those assets, they need to be renovated, because this wear and tear is very high, and therefore, this situation where Russia is now, it's a geopolitical factors, all of them. They are pressing Russia, and it's a kind of the choice they have to do, and they have to make, because actually, it doesn't concern only power sector or power industry. It also concerns all the economy, because under those sanctions, under the pressure of sanctions, under all these shortages and complicated logistic and so on. It's very difficult to make the kind of market based choices, and more we can see that the government and some other bodies, also even these private companies, they incline to this kind of non-market decisions, non-market solutions. Regarding power sector, we can see that this those auctions for new capacity and for modernization, so-called commod. It's a competitive selection or auction of modernization. They are, being held in Russia, but they have been postponed several times because of different reasons. Mostly they are related to those factors which I've just mentioned. All this the uncertainties due to sanctions and shortages of supply, all those machines and machinery, all those facilities which needed to be replaced and produced and replaced in power sector. And it's a very it's very difficult choice. And that discussion, it's very slow, but it's simmering. We can see that in the media, especially regarding the economy as a whole. But in power sector, we can see this also. And there was a article in the leading commercial newspaper, which is called Kommersant. And one of our colleague, he just wrote an article there where he actually some kind of made a choice towards towards a Chinese way of development of the sector. He was adored. He was adoring the way Chinese power sector is being developed at this time, and he just said that we have to take this example and follow that. But I wrote, actually, in Russian, I wrote kind of answer to this article recently. Just we've published it, at our site of our company, and there just I just made our our point of view clear, that my understanding is that we need to strengthening the market forces to deep the market mechanism in Russia, because especially in this investment segment of the market, because as I said before, if we just look at the operational segment of the market, it's more or less good enough, and it works properly. Mostly, then there are some hitches there, but as well. But of course, you cannot do without that kind of problems and obstacles. But for investment sector, we have very many problems there. Actually, it was not created as a power base, as a market based, and all this is more or less in manual mode and manual regime. Therefore, it were a lot of reasons. There were a lot of reasons for that. First of them, and most of them were related to the high inflation and expensive money, expensive funds, to invest. But there are some solutions for that. I've also mentioned that before. So just I wrote this article, and you can see here on this picture, it's Russia. We have at the moment we have two market zones, and first one is a blue one, here, and the second one is this one. It's Siberia, and this is of European part and Urals. But also you can see these black ones there. It's called non-price zones, and there from January 1st, they are being linked to the market, and they are becoming this market zones. Gradually, there are some a gradual rate when they're turning into totally market zones. But we can see this. It's a big, challenge, and also the big step forward to create a market. And therefore, we need to my understanding, is to create more market there. To bring more market, because it helps to also to withstand all these problems with sanctions and so forth. Because it's in general we can see the economy of Russia. It's well proved and resilient, especially in that part which is market based towards all those all those external factors like this, all those black swans which came out in February 2022. Also, you can see here this this red or orange zones. It's within this price zone. There are some special regimes for some territories, some more regulations there because of due to many factors, especially the social, economic, and so on. Also, these green ones, it's so-called isolated zones. So they are just there are no market there because it's just impossible to have a market. But those territories are very rarely populated, and mostly all those this fuel comes here through this northern so-called northern deliveries. Therefore the price for electricity is very high. So it's mostly diesel and that kind of things, and therefore they are, of course, non-market. And they're not connected directly, because they're isolated. They're not connected with the rest of the country. That's about Russia. So the discussion is underway right now, and we'll see how it comes, how it goes, where we're going to be takeaways of that. But we hope that we will continue to follow the market-based rules there, and we will just deepen them and make them more efficient. That's the way it should be. Yeah, if we talk about Kazakhstan, Kazakhstan, as you know, we focused on Kazakhstan, and also we've been asked why only Kazakhstan, why not some other Central Asian countries? No, the problem is, or the answer is, that Kazakhstan is the most developed country there in all terms, and in terms of power market as well, and the power system as well, because it's the largest. This is the largest power system there in the Central Asia. And as I said before, many times, if you look at the map here, we can see this map just to make it a little bit smaller. And you can see the picture, general picture. This is Russia here, and the northern part is connected with Russia, and used to be the part of Russian power system. And this is Central Asian countries here, and it's the Soviet time it was not directly connected, even it was not synchronized, but then it was synchronized with one line, and during this post-Soviet times, Kazakhstanis, they have built two more lines here, 500 kilovolts, and voltage, and they can transfer about 2.1, 2.2 gigawatts of capacity. Therefore, all these other, like Uzbekistan here, for instance, okay, I'll make it a little bit higher, zoom it out. Okay, it's like this. If you go down there, you can see Uzbekistan is here, It's a country. This is the country where they have their own power system, and in the Soviet times, it used to be the center of this Central Asian power system. United power system of all those Central Asian countries. But now they are second. They are the second after Kazakhstan in terms of size of the power system. And they're building a lot right now, but mostly there are many projects of renewables there, and mostly they are being built by Arab countries, Arabic countries. I wanted to say, and they from from Saudi Arabia, from United Arab Emirates, from those countries and companies. They come there and they invest in renewables, and also they build some gas station, because natural gas, is available there, which is in contrast to Kazakhstan and other Central Asian countries. But the problem is that there is no market there. So far, they declared it several times that they are going to create market there. And again, they're just introduced also the single buyer model back in end of 2023. But so far, even if you compare it to Kazakhstan, they are far away from the market, and they are lagging behind. And we will see how it goes. If they are going to the market, they come close to the market oriented development of the industry. Of course, we will start also describing and observing what is going on there. For Kyrgyzstan, it's another country. It's a smaller one. It's a smaller powers, but also there is Tajikistan, which is it used to be disconnected from all these other countries, as well as Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan is here. It's somewhere here. Yes, this is Turkmenistan. The problem is there that it used to be, in one system, as I said, and it was pretty well, a pretty good combination, because in Kazakhstan, mostly all these power stations, they are coal-fired. In Uzbekistan, gas-fired. In Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan, they have some hydropower stations. Also, Turkmenistan was gas stations, because it's mostly it's a desert. They are located at this desert so far, but then they have been disconnected back in 90s, I think, after collapse of the Soviet Union, and now they are talking about reuniting this system and creating kind of a good mix of generation, especially in their in their eagerness to build this low carbon power systems with a low carbon footprint. But the thing is that it's difficult on the one hand, and on the other hand, what is wrong, to my understanding, because when they talk about that, they just forget that at the moment Russia is balancing all their needs, and because all of them, mostly all of them, almost all of them, they have deficit in their capacity, because of consumption is rising very rapidly, and the population is growing, but they don't have enough electricity for their development. That is about Kazakhstan, but as I said before, they face a lot of problems, and the prices, if they follow all those plans they're discussing right now, the prices would come to the levels of like 2-3 times higher than today by 2029, which probably would be not acceptable politically and socially, and therefore they need to create a market, a kind of market model which will help to optimize their development in this direction. And we'll see if they manage to do that next year. Mostly, this is what I wanted to say this time, and let's see how it goes. I just want to congratulate all of you with Christmas. Just to tell you this Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we'll see next time with you in 2025. Thank you for attention, and sign up for our channel. Stay with us. Of course, just forgive me for my English, as usual, because it's difficult, to switch on from Russian to English, into English. But I hope it's useful for you, for those who don't speak, Russian, but for those who try to understand what is going on in former Soviet Union countries, in Russia and Central Asia, regarding power sector. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye-bye.